mentioned the other night that you guys are halfway home, and obviously that was a super emotional win, great comeback. How do you sort of not flush it or forget it because it's memorable, but also communicate with the guys? We still got to win 8 more of these things to get to our goal.
Yeah, I mean it's just that simple. I mean, I don't have to say anything. They already know that. I was hearing that out of their mouths, you know, 15 minutes after that game in the lunchroom. So we have a lot of guys that have been there before. Our goal wasn't to just win that round. We have higher aspirations, and yeah, they celebrated for a little bit. I'm sure they enjoyed the time off that they earned, but deep down, 15 minutes after that game, guys were sitting in the locker room, like talking about the game that was going to happen the next night between Vegas and Anaheim and what it was going to look like. And all the guys are already talking about Vegas today. So like their focus is already shifting into the right place.
We'll go Colleen to the right, and then we'll go Ryan Holden.
Kind of extending on that, the fact that these two teams are pretty comparable and the physicality, the depth. What is, I mean, just before you guys really can get into it, what is your focus going against that team?
Well, I mean, it's a really good team. We just beat a really good team. This is a team that's now gotten healthier with the addition of Carlson back in their lineup. They're super deep forward group. Half their teams won a Stanley Cup, the right after our guys won it. So it's an experienced group. You're not going to be able to rattle them. They're very well defined in their structure of their game. Like you know, they're a stingy defensive team and they got lots of firepower. So, we have to pick them apart and figure out the best way to try and create offense against them and how to defend them. It's my focus is the same as it is going into any series. It's just different pieces moving around the table, So it's a good team. We're not looking past this team. This team is probably in a better situation than Minnesota because Minnesota had some key injuries, and these guys are healthy and firing on all cylinders ever since they made the coaching change.
Ryan and Pat.
Makar, Manson, Burns, Lekkonen weren't out for practice today. What
Correct.
Can you or will you tell us about their absences?
They're all dealing with stuff in their day to day.
Are they expected to be practicing in the time you have?
Yeah, I think some of them will practice in the time we have.
Coach, kind of a two-parter on Nick. Well, what have you gotten to know about him that maybe you didn't know? And then the second part is, what can you learn from him about this team since he was there for so long?
Different coach now, right? A lot of different personnel than from the time that he was there. A lot of the same guys, but I would say for the most part, like we know this team pretty well too, and their personnel and some tendencies in the way they play, right? And not a lot has changed with the new coach, but they're getting way better results, and they're a hungry team come this time of the year. I think it's like any other veteran team. You're a good team. You're kind of struggling a little bit, with consistency maybe through the regular season, but now it means more. So guys are digging in more and they're having way more success. So, like Nick, when it comes to Nick's game himself, we looked at him in Vegas. We looked at him in Toronto. We tried to figure out how we would deploy him and could we get him back to playing as well or better than he did in Vegas because he was a highly effective player for them, not only in regular season but in the Stanley Cup run, right? So I think he's done that for us. I think this is a guy that can help us in a bunch of different areas. I don't know that I've learned a lot about him. The one thing that kind of I've been impressed with is his patience with the puck. He never throws the puck away, right? So whether he has to protect it or hang on to it or move it to someone, he's always putting the puck in an area where you can get it back, or he's willing to hang on to it himself. He's got a lot of patience for a guy with the production that he has. Yeah.
Well, Evan and Eric.
The two teams you faced previously, they had good players. A lot of their best forwards were wingers. You haven't faced a Jack Eichel yet. From a coaching perspective, with a center like that who does everything for them, like how does he change kind of the matchup situation from your perspective and how you coach?
Well, it just depends. So historically, we've gone McKinnon against Eichel. They've gone Eichel against McKinnon. And our numbers would say that Max had good success against them. Is that something that we want to do, or do we want to move away from it? We'll see as the series goes on. This is a deep, deep center team, right? Like they added Dowd at the deadline. They get Carlson back. They're structured 1 through 4 in the center position, but really it's their whole forward group the same way, and their D. Like this is one of the deepest teams in the league, and I mean their analytics have them as a top 5, 6 team in the league all year. So yeah, that's what it is. We're a top team. They're a top team. We're facing in the conference finals, and both teams are experienced. Both teams are a little bit older. There's a lot of similarities between our two groups.
Well, Eric, then Megan.
To add to that, Marty was saying that you want to be the team to dictate the play. You want to play your style, make the other team make the adjustments. But whether it's center depth, whether it's physicality, the experience of the team, like how do you balance playing your game with we need to make adjustments for this opponent compared to the last one we had?
Well, are you talking in series or are you talking right now?
Like from the onset, starting.
Yeah, so we're preparing for this team. I'm not thinking about anything that we did against Minnesota. I'm thinking about what do we need to do against the Vegas team. So we break down all their lines, all their tendencies, the way they play structurally, and then we game plan around that. It has nothing to do with what we did against Minnesota. It's more about what we need to do against Vegas. And then if we don't like something we're seeing, we'll adjust in series.
Megan and John.
It's a two-part question on Brock Nelson. The first part is, how do you value his role in the Minnesota series with respect to neutralizing his matchups and aligning with goalies, for example?
Yeah.
And then the second part is, how do you unlock his game more offensively, especially seeing Vegas is so deep on the forward side without straying from the importance of being able to neutralize the scoring opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Brock's been doing his whole life. That's what we expect McKinnon to do. I'm trying to figure the way to answer that. Like the most important thing is you got to be able to check your opponent, and then you're going to go try and create offense, right? So we want all 4 lines to be able to do both, right? And one line may have success at doing both. Line may have success at scoring, but not shutting down the other team. But you got to win more matchups than they do to win. So I'm not necessarily concerned, hey, Brock, you shut down your line if he doesn't create offense. If we still win the series, I'm happy. It's I can't just single out Brock and say, yep, you got to check these guys, and then you got to score more in his line. If we're winning more matchups than we're losing, then we're going to win the series. So the goal is the same for all 4 lines, but we're going to win some of those on the offensive side, and we're going to lose some on the defensive side. But we got to try to win more than they do in order to win the series. It's not like I don't talk to Brock about, okay, yeah, like you can give up a little bit on the defensive side, and then if you can go score a little bit more, like you got to play the game that's in front of you, and depending on who he's matched up against, like shutting them down could possibly be a win for us, and I have faith in all of our guys that they have the ability to chip in on the offensive side. It's going to be real difficult against a really well structured and hard defending team like Vegas. Like that's what they do. They suppress chances.
John and Jason.
The Western Conference Finals is rare territory, even for this organization, for any organization. How much does experience matter? And in fighting against the light spring being too bright as the stakes get higher?
Well, I think they're the same for both of us. Like we have the exact same expectations as Vegas does, right? And we have very similar experience too. Probably close to half the roster winning a Stanley Cup a couple years ago, no success since, and here we are facing each other, right? So pressure on us is no different than the pressure on them. The experience helps in a big way, and I'm not saying we have an advantage or disadvantage. I see it very similar. So it helps you through the times when you're going through adversity, like last game against Minnesota. Guys don't go away. They're not just going to write the game off. Like Vegas isn't going to go away at any point. Doesn't matter how much pressure we put on them, and we're not going to either, right? So it's just going to be a fight to the bitter end to see who comes out on top. That's the challenge. It's a top team in the league, and we consider ourselves a top team in the league. And now you got to go perform and play to prove who's the best.
Last couple, go ahead, Jesse.
You mentioned in the LA series, you guys had to play a different style than maybe you normally would to beat LA. I guess, do you feel that you guys shifted and did what you had to do against Minnesota, and are you expecting that you're going to have to do something a little bit different against Vegas than what you did against Minnesota?
Okay, yeah. So to clarify that, like LA is a lockdown, shutdown defensive team. They're one of the best in the league. Okay, and then they're going to try to strike on their opportunities. So the focus was not, well, it doesn't matter how much offense we create. We tried our hardest to create offense against LA. We just didn't create a lot. And as you see that series play out and you see how tough they're defending and how hard it is to create scoring chances, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to say, well, you better be really good defensively or you're not going to win. Okay, so that's recognized early from our team. So we locked it down defensively, but we still went after them as best we could offensively and just didn't get a lot accomplished. The game is more free flowing against Minnesota. You're trading chances at time, but you're taking what they give you and you're trying to shut them down as well. So we give up way more against Minnesota than we gave up against LA, partly because of their roster and the way they play. And yeah, we did exactly what we needed to do to win the series. We ended up winning it 4-1. Your opposition dictates somewhat what the game's going to go like. There's only two of you on the ice, and like you can't be naive enough to think that it's just about us. Like we're going to get into a series here, and it's going to show really quickly what the games are going to look like, and we have to be able to ready to play on both the defensive and offensive side of things. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder than it was last series. I'll guarantee you that.
Finish with Ben. All right.
Coach, after the LA series, you talked about Martin that just called this game just okay, maybe saying that you need to be a little harder to play against. I'm wondering how that assessment has maybe changed.
I thought he was great, and I felt like I thought like stylistically, the games against Minnesota benefit Marty, right? Like that he likes to have the puck, he likes to find space, he likes to be creative. It's when he's at his best, right? So it's not that I didn't like his series against LA, but he didn't create as much as he did against Minnesota. It wasn't even close, but no one on our team did, right? So now we'll see how it goes against Vegas. And if you're not going to create a lot, then you better be really good defensively, on the other side of it, or you're not going to win. So it's kind of all, I'm just really changing my words for all these questions, but it's the truth. I mean, I don't know what else I can tell you. Like I can't tell you exactly what it's going to look like to beat Vegas. We got to get into the games, but we'll put together a plan and make sure our guys have the information that they need to try and have success against them. And then you got to go out and perform and compete in order to have that success, And if we're not liking something, we'll be willing to change it. But I'm just telling you from watching that last series, it's going to be tough. Like Anaheim is a dangerous offensive team, and at times it looked like they were, and at times it looked like they couldn't create a lot. And Vegas on the other side of it, against Anaheim, like they looked really dangerous. And it's a deep roster with a lot of firepower and a lot of experience.